The left is now very concerned about a president or his Department of War head ordering an illegal death, an illegal killing of someone deemed an enemy combatant. Except they didn't much seem to mind during the Obama era. I was on all the time talking about these strikes that Obama was doing with the drones. I remember O'Reilly and I having many debates about this. And hold on, we've got some with Obama bragging about how good he was at killing people. And, oh, he told you that in your book, too. Yeah. Hold on a second. Where is that soundbite, Debbie? I know, that one's not on tape, but the Obama drone strike is. This is where he was... Shot 7 is where he was joking about how good he was with the Predator drones at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's a joke, but it's based on reality because he really was taking out not just alleged terrorists, but Americans who had no due process with his drones. Here's the joke, and then we'll get to the bigger news you made with him in your book.
The Jonas brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans. But boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you: Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
Okay, so they're perfectly willing to yuck it up. I didn't see like a 6 senator video saying, oh, disobey illegal orders in case you get one to take out the Jonas brothers. But with you, Mark, he took that joke and made a very serious comment that showed his real feelings about his use of those drones. And what did he say?
Well, he didn't say it directly to me. He said we reported that he said it to his aides. He said, I guess I'm pretty good at killing people. I think that's the quote in Double Down, the sequel to Game Change. And as you said, he killed at least one American. That's a big difference, right? For the President of the United States, do we owe the same level of due process to people who aren't Americans who the president says we're at? I don't think so. But for an American to get no due process and have his president kill him, that's quite something. Now, again, might have been justified by some moral, situational ethics thing. But as you said, where was the outrage then by the press? I was outraged. I was talking quite a bit about it. But where was the outrage from the media and from Democrats and Republicans who are principled? Like, again, there might be a justification for it, but in this country with our traditions, this should be discussed and debated, and the president should have to justify it rather than just saying, I control the weapons, and now with the drones, even easier. I control these things, and so I'm going to kill whoever I think should be killed. That's just not our tradition. There might be justification for it, and I'm not saying I don't share the goals, but it should be debated and discussed and scrutinized, and there should be disclosure about it. And I would say nothing could be more MAGA than saying we can't have a president who's unfettered in their ability to use our military to do whatever he wants. That's just not the way America is.
Mm-hmm. He said to you, or they quoted in your book, Double Down, 2012, turns out I'm really good at killing people. Yeah. Didn't know that was going to be a strong suit of mine. Yeah. I mean, wow. It was a 16-year-old. He was an American citizen, killed by a U.S. drone strike in Yemen. He was the son of terrorist Anwar al-Awlaki, and the justification was, wrong place, wrong time. Yeah. Like, too bad. Sorry, not sorry. And look, the problem they have in the Hegseth situation is reportedly, and again, this is a big asterisk because this is Washington Post reporting, that allegedly after this incident on September 2nd, they then changed the policy, the approach to not, quote, double tap if there were survivors on the boats, from the boats now swimming in the water after their boat was blown to smithereens. Yeah. So it would suggest an acknowledgement that having taken out those two on September 2nd was not ideal. I don't know if it's an acknowledgement it was illegal, but it certainly seems to have been a change in policy. And in the law, that's exactly the kind of thing you use against somebody, the change in policy or the change in behavior. Having said all that, Mark, these guys are in no danger whatsoever. If some overzealous, Senate panel leads to a recommendation for charges, the DOJ somehow finds, I don't know, some weird independent streak and decides to indict these guys, or whoever it would be, it might be a military prosecution, President Trump is going to pardon them. These guys have nothing to worry about for this strike.
Well, they don't have anything to worry about, I agree with you, from the point of view of a Justice Department indictment. And I may be wrong about this, but I don't know that the president can pardon people in the court of military justice. And certainly it could impact their careers.
I think he can.
Really? I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example of that.
I think so. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I was reading, among others, Andy McCarthy this morning.
Yeah.
He was very tough on the president here, very tough on Hegseth, and not at all on his side. But I think he did acknowledge up front that a pardon would be likely and could render it moot.
If you read the Washington Post story carefully, as you did, people should know the Washington Post story leaves room for the notion that the order to kill the last two gentlemen, allegedly, was not a direct order from Hegseth. That Hegseth's order was make sure, everybody gets killed. But it's possible, if you read the Post story literally, that it was the commander who said, do the second tap, rather than Hegseth himself.
Well, I mean, I guess that won't necessarily affect anything other than the truth of Hegseth's denial as espoused by Trump on Air Force One, that Hegseth told me he did not order that.
Right.
So, I mean, that may get Hegseth off the hook. In any event, it's like, to me, it's kind of annoying to even debate it. I do think our soldiers and, all armed forces should not commit war crimes. Mm-hmm. Definitely on team don't commit a war crime. But I also feel like I object to even the scrutiny of this event, because it's all manufactured. It's only being done to retroactively justify this, seditious six and that's what Hegseth is calling them, and their video, which was based on nothing. They're just now digging. It's a fishing expedition. And it does feel a little, Stalin's right-hand man-esque, like, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. That's how it feels to me. So I'm really not that into it, nor do I really care that we're killing the drug boat guys trying to kill my kids and yours right now by bringing their fentanyl to the United States to try to get our kids when they go to college with, some drug in some moment of weakness where they think they're taking a Xanax, like what happened to poor Eric Bolling's child, and instead it's laced with fentanyl. So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time ginning up sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial bomb, but because they managed to get ejected, a little too soon, had to be taken out in the water. I realize legally it may make a difference, but truly, Mark, this is a tough case to really gin up the sympathies of the American people.
Yeah, like I said, I share the premise that you just raised, because I think it's important that we do something to keep our porous border from being flooded with drugs that are killing our people. So if this is in service of that, I think it's something that should be considered. I just think there needs to be more debate, because I just don't think it's good for the United States to be violating international law, if that's what happened here, or taking human life under conditions that aren't vetted. Now, I would say every one of these actions has a legal team. And my hope would be that the legal team is signing off on this stuff. So while outside...
That's what Hegseth is saying.
So while outside lawyers may say this is a clear violation, let's find out. Again, declassification without revealing sources and methods and operational details. Let's find out what the legal justification was for it. Because if it can't be justified legally, then it's hard to defend it, even if the mission and the goals are admirable and necessary. But presumably these were signed off on by lawyers. So let's see what they said. Let's see how they justified it. That hasn't been forthcoming. And I do think that would quiet the complaints of at least some who are fair-minded about this.
Yes, and Hegseth says they did have sign-off from lawyers at the top of the DOJ and the military system on these strikes, though his memo's a little ambiguous on, like, what about the question of the two swimming in the water? Ever read the label on a typical bag of chips? it's often a science experiment of seed oils, MSG, artificial dyes, and mystery ingredients. Masa is part of the growing movement to bring back real food. Masa chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. Not only do these chips avoid the bad stuff, they also taste delicious too. Snacking on Masa chips is nothing like eating regular chips. With Masa, you feel satisfied, light, and energetic with no crash and no bloat. And if you love Masa, then you will love Vandy Crisps. Vandy, which is Masa's sister company, makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips too. Ready to give Masa or Vandy a try? Use code MK for 25% off your first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. Don't feel like ordering online? Masa and Vandy are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. Stop by and pick a couple of bags up before they're all gone. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.